Hi, my name's Alistair Somerville, and this is a talk on inclusive welcomes for InterMuseum 2020. My company's called Acuity Design, and you can get hold of me on email at a.somerville@acuity.design or on Twitter at acuity_design. This is a talk about inclusive welcomes, and the two core strategic goals of this is to talk about how we can expand attendance at museums and also increase visitor satisfaction. And I'm using a framework which we've used in a lot of projects, particularly for digital and physical wayfinding and mapping purposes. And it's known as the first 5-step problem. And it's about thinking how anxiety and anticipation of visiting a museum and being in a museum can create problems, about how the secondary journeys, those things which are about the visitor and their sense of feelings about a place, affect their sense of feeling about the primary journey, the visit to see the museum. And the second thing we'll be talking about is how all of this creates a way of talking of how you go from the way in which you welcome people to a museum to the way in which you can invite them to do new things. Because the better your welcome, the greater the trust people have in your museum. And the greater the trust they have, the more likely they are to be willing to listen to your invitations, to try new things, or to visit again. Welcomes lead to invitations because of trust. I'm going to use this card, which is a card I use in workshops, and it covers the whole of the 5 steps framework, and it goes from welcomes to invitations. When I do this as a physical workshop, when we talk about this as a physical experience, I use a large banner, and this is actually a banner which we use to walk on or to roll over in wheelchairs, because this is the way in which we talk about how these things must be perceivable, visible, understandable by a visitor when they come into your property, when they come onto your website. Simple things done well. And thus, to start with the 5-step problem, it's about anxiety and anticipation. And this is where the use of websites, the use of simple technologies to ensure that people know that they can not be anxious about certain things which they worry about before they even go out, have been thought of by the museum, and that the museum is ensuring that these secondary journeys, these journeys which we'll talk about the personal sense of comfort, have been considered, and that things have been put in place to make the place accessible and inclusive. The primary journey, the reason anybody comes to a museum or a gallery or a visitor attraction, is to see or to do the thing which is the core offer of that place. And thus, one of the things which all places have to do is ensure that you show a visitor why they should travel to your museum. This is what websites can do. This is what publications, magazines, posters, all of these things. Why should I travel? Because then you can when they arrive, show people how to find the things in the place. This enables the user's, the visitor's sense of purpose. You have to provide good reasons, because otherwise, particularly with people with a range of cognitive or physical impairments, they are already making choices about whether to go out, because public transport can be difficult, getting support can be difficult. You have to show very clearly, and clarity is the thing. This isn't about technology, this is about clarity. Show people why they should come to your place. Use your website. The second thing, and this is generally speaking the most important thing which happens when people arrive at a visitor attraction or museum, is they want to know where the toilets are. Um, Showing where the toilets are within the first few steps of coming into your physical building is important. Showing that you have accessible toilets on your website, showing a map, having a downloadable map, again, simple PDFs, showing these things enables a sense of comfort. I can go to this place, I will be comfortable because I will be able to go to the toilet, keep tidy, keep clean, all of these things. Again, uncertainty creates anxiety, and anxiety is the reason why many museums do not get visited by many people with disabilities. The third thing, um, making sure that you know whether there is the ability to have a cup of tea, or a coffee, or a drink, or a cake, which goes to the sense of a museum as a place to be and to be with friends. Fourthly, shopping, the shop, the spree. Can I buy a postcard or a gift? Knowing that there is a shop and where it is, again, showing these things on maps, on websites, enables people to know that they will be able to buy that thing which will be able to enable them to have a good journey around, if it's a guidebook, or to be able to create a good memory for themselves with a postcard, or for a person they know, a gift for somebody they like. This is a way in which they have a sense of completion about their trip out. It's a complete journey. You are supporting a person from their being in their home through the journey to the place, through their journey through the museum, through their journey out, which comes to the final thing. Flee. Where is the exit? One of the things which came out of some research into the accessibility of public transport systems for older people was an interesting result we came through in research was that people weren't actually worried by going out on the public transport systems. They were actually worried by coming back, whether the system would be available, whether they would be able to use it when they needed it. Knowing where the exits are, both in terms of the safety of the building, but also knowing that the person can return home easily, happily, is important. This is about, to use another new design idea, it's about service design. The journey, the trip to the museum is about ensuring the whole journey from when the person is thinking about coming to your museum to when they get home after visiting. Consider the whole journey, because this is the reason why people have a good sense of lowered anxiety when they can anticipate, they can imagine the whole of the journey, going, being there, coming back. And this all comes to the idea of how do you organize both your physical space and your digital space, both the entrance hall to your museum and your website, to ensure that a visitor has a sense of purpose, why they should go, a sense of comfort, where are the toilets, a sense of social contentment, can I have a sit down and a hot drink or an ice cream, a sense of completion, can I buy a gift, a postcard to give to a friend, and a sense of safety. I will be safe in the building. I will be safe when I leave and go home. These are the individual sense, and this is about accessibility and about inclusion. And as I said at the beginning, all of the 5 steps are ways in which you build and share trust that your place is inclusive, to come and to stay. Accessibility at an absolutely fundamental level is being honest with visitors before they come and telling them what is there and also what isn't there, so they can make choices, enable the capacities of people with disabilities. Don't think about it in terms of impairment. Think about it in terms of how do you help people make choices that the place that you offer is a place that they can come to, a place they can stay, and a place they will enjoy. And all of this builds trust. And trust is hugely important for the long-term strategic needs of a museum. Because when you build trust by offering good, inclusive welcomes, you are also offering trust that things you say, the invitations you make to try something new, to go to this gallery, to pay for this experience, or to come back again, are a good idea. By offering a good inclusive welcome, you include people in the possibility of doing something different. It's good for them, it's good for you. So this is the thing. The first 5-step goal is about ensuring inclusive welcomes. But in including people well in the welcome, you're actually including them in the invitation to try new things, to become a regular visitor. And this is the thing. Accessibility is making your place accessible with clear information that your place meets the essential needs of people with disabilities. Your place is accessible and you've considered the needs of people with physical and cognitive impairments. Simultaneously, by being welcoming in those terms for people with essential needs, you have made your place inclusive to all visitors. And this is how you go from good welcomes to great invitations. If you need to talk to me about anything, or you'd like to have a chat about anything, then please email or Twitter. Thank you.